Hello friends, hope you're doing good today. This is our second presentation in the series of Informatica tutorials. In the last video, we discussed the basic concepts of data warehousing, including the architecture, dimensional modeling, snowflake, and star schema. Today, we'll discuss the concepts of ETL and the use of Informatica as an ETL tool. To understand warehouse projects, first we'll have a look into the ETL process. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. Just as the name implies, the ETL tool extracts data from homogeneous or heterogeneous data sources. It then transforms the data for storing it in proper format or structure for querying and analysis purposes. It loads it into the final target, which can be a database, more specifically, an operational data store, data mart, or data warehouse. ETL systems commonly integrate data from multiple applications, typically developed and supported by different vendors or hosted on separate computer hardware. Here you can see an ETL process, including a staging area, which is a common practice in the industry. As discussed in the previous video, data is first collected from multiple sources, brought into a common staging area, and then is cleansed and loaded into the final data warehouse. Generally, data is simply extracted and loaded into the staging area first without any transformations. That is why you can see the big red E under the first ETL job. This is also referred to as data being dumped into the staging area. This can be thought of as an intermediate temporary database. Then from here on, the data is transformed, cleansed, and loaded into the final target. Hence, the big red T and L under the second ETL job. From the data warehouse, data is transferred to data marts. Then, the BI and reporting tools come in the picture and provide reporting for the end users. These movements of data can be scheduled on regular basis using an ETL tool such as Informatica, which will be our main focus for this tutorial series. Its benefits and workings will be discussed later on. For now, let's just see what kind of projects does Informatica cater to. Informatica can be used for a wide variety of projects, as it is one of the most diverse and flexible tools of our age. Some of these projects can be creating data marts or data warehouses for business-oriented people, where transactional data is gathered up for their use. Migrating data from old systems to new ones. Integrating data from interrelated companies. Integrating data from third-party suppliers. All this work can be done by scripting. So, why use an ETL tool such as Informatica? Imagine hand-coding all the tedious ETL jobs using scripts. Well, I guarantee it'll take you not less than a month to manage all the data movement in a small data mart environment. To speed up this process, we use the ETL tool. And as most of the business are critical, you don't want to mess up things and make your life a hell. Informatica plays a major role in making your life easier. Now let's look at a few advantages of Informatica. It is a GUI tool. Coding in a graphical tool is generally faster than hand-coding scripting. It can communicate with all major data sources, for example, mainframe, RDBMS, flat files, XML, VSM, SAP, etc. it can handle very large amount of data very effectively. Reusability of objects is promoted by Informatica. For example, the transformation rules can be used over and over again in multiple mappings. Informatica can be run on Windows and Unix environment. It increases agility in delivering critical data and reports to the business. Informatica boosts productivity with metadata management. It tests changes and upgrades up to 10 times faster and increases test coverage with the Informatica data validation option. Any changes in any of the objects will have minimum impact on other objects. It strengthens real-time operations. Informatica proactively identifies data integration risks. And finally, it takes advantage and harnesses the power of big data. The main advantage of Informatica is that it provides complete data lineage. Well, what is data lineage? Data lineage is defined as a data lifecycle that includes that data's origins and where it moves over time. It describes what happens to data as it goes through diverse processes. It helps provide visibility into the analytics pipeline and simplifies tracing errors back to their sources. It also enables replaying specific portions of input to the data flow for stepwise debugging or regenerating lost output. Hope now you see the importance of Informatica and will be more excited to learn it. Until next time, goodbye and thanks for joining me.